Hi everybody, it's Stephanie. It's Saturday, October 21st. So, another busy day at my job. The weather is beautiful outside. It's not very hot out there. This weekend I only have one day off, and that's Sunday. So I got to go back to work on Monday, but I'm only working 4 days. Thursday is my closing day on the house. Yeah. So I'm in great anticipation. I have some jitters in my stomach, and I think it's normal, especially when you have so many different things going on in your mind. And there's still a lot to be done. Yesterday, I contacted the utilities company, and on the day of my closing, the electricity is going to be in my account, in my name, and it feels strange, you know. I'm going to be living 2 hours from here. This isn't what I really want to talk about, but I'm going to get to what I want to talk about. On my job, sometimes I make friends, and you're friends long enough, but it's only in the work environment. I don't really hang around with people that I assist on my job, unless there's some specifics involved. So when I come back, I want to talk about what happened today and why I'm talking about this. And I'm a little bit disappointed in what happened. So we'll be right back with more.
Suggesting anything so complicated.
So anyways, about 10 years ago or more, I developed a friendship in the work environment to a couple, a husband and a wife, and they're handy people. What that means is that's what they do for a living. They're handy people. They started a small little home repair or a home remodeling company, but it's more like a handy person remodeling company. And when I met them, I had been working at the Home Depot, okay? And we just happened to strike up some deep conversations, not personal, just irregular conversations about, it could be current affairs, it could be what's going on in the government, it could be what's going on in some stupid political party, it could be anything. But the bottom line is, we found some commonality that we became friends on the work front. So this guy comes in with his wife and they're shopping for things so they can fix their customer's home or do a light remodeling. It could be some electrical work, it could be some plumbing work. But that's why I met them, because they go on a regular basis to buy supplies. So, to my surprise today, they asked me how my home hunting was going and did I find a home that I was going to buy. So I said yes. As a matter of fact, I close on the home next week. So we talked for about 20 minutes, and during the conversation, about certain things that I like to see done in the future in my new home, I told him that if I was to remove a part of the wall in the kitchen that to me has no reason to be there, I would just use a jigsaw or a circular saw and just cut that wall out. And he said to me, well, you don't want to use a jigsaw or a circular saw because it's just going to scatter sawdust all over your kitchen, your walls and stuff, and it's going to be a mess. So anyways, he showed me certain ways that he would do it and what tool he would use. So he said that he would use one of these vibrating blades, because it doesn't spin and it doesn't cause any mess. It cuts it quick and no mess. So I agreed, and just for the sake of conversation, I said, well, I'm glad I told you how I would have done it, because I'm actually doing it like Jeffrey Dahmer did with his victims. I said to him, but you're doing it surgically like a doctor. Boy, the minute I said surgically like a doctor, he took that sentence or remark and he twisted it. And he made a personal jab at me, and he said, you should know you've dealt with surgeons. So that left a very funny taste in my mouth, and his wife made a comment to him. He said, now stop right there, because she sensed that he's crossing the line. And I said to her, it's okay, I can take a joke. But what he's saying is, you should know about surgeons because you've seen many. Now, I'm not going to get right down to the nitty-gritty about the surgeries I've had. If you belong to a specific group in society, then you know what I'm talking about. So he made a condescending remark. Just before the condescending remark, I had agreed to allow him to help me on a possible project at my home, particularly in the kitchen, because he gave me such great advice and he told me how I can do it, and he could go back at some point and put in a granite countertop and do the finishing touches. But you know what though? Just because he said that to me, he proved to me that I'm wrong. I'm wrong for looking at him being different than most men or some people. Some people are very prejudicial, judgmental, and not very nice. I know, because I dated somebody like that. Okay? Her name is Leslie. Leslie's very condescending, not very nice, nitty-picky, controlling, and also prejudicial. Okay? This guy who made the remark to me, I known him for so many years. I had so much respect for him. And he made me feel like I'm just a normal part of society. When people make a remark to you about something about you, then in that moment, in that instant, you begin to see their true colors. And just for the sake of argument, he's not the kind of person I think I would let into my home. He's not the kind of person I feel comfortable having in my home after having made that remark. Now it doesn't sit well with me. He kind of like tarnished that little friendship we had that was only in the workplace. To me, when he said that, it makes me feel like he might have some kind of problem against certain parts of the group of society that he does not approve of. Well, let me tell you something about that. People can live their life how they want to live their life. If they just want to be happy, then it should not affect your life. Okay? Because there are people who I'm friends with that are totally different than me. Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge anybody on this planet? I'm not better than them. I'm not better than them. Why should I judge anybody? Okay? If people want to change something about them that they do not like, something that bothered them since childhood, and now they finally done it and they're happy and they're peaceful in their lives, why should I change my friendship with them? Why should I allow government officials to separate my friendship with someone who I have no problem with? Other people's choices do not affect my life. But it's interesting that people that are in powerful positions in this country and in this world are trying to use hatred, are trying to use judgment to separate us so we don't form a powerful union of peace and happiness. They're only happy with chaos and drama. I don't need people like that in my life. I don't. I really don't. And it's a stink bomb for me. It really is. If a certain social group is a certain way, or certain people like living in a certain way that doesn't affect me, why should I hate that person? Why should I stare that person down and put them down and cast them aside? People are part of society, no matter how different we are, no matter how different our color of our skin is. Okay? I do not have time for hatred. I will not be a bigot. Okay? I'm not going to be judgmental against people that are different than me. Okay? If somebody don't like me, if somebody is saying negative about me, that's their business, not mine. I don't want to know about it. Okay? I was at work yesterday, and these two customers, two men, came up to me that needed help, and I forgot what the conversation was, but the conversation was along the line of it had to do with his wounds and things that he went through. I think I told him to be careful when he's handling ductwork. Ductwork are just the long square boxes that send hot air or cool air around your house to maintain an ambient temperature, or if you live up north where it's winter, if you have forced hot air, then you have ductwork that shoots warm air to the rooms to keep your home warm or cool. Well, I told him to be careful so he doesn't cut himself. So he looked at me and he said, "Oh, don't worry about that. I have enough bruises. I'm used to it." Okay? He said, "I've been prodded, stabbed, and bitten." And he turned around to show me his arm. Okay? When he was young, he went hunting with a friend and a group of guys. It was winter time, so one of the guys carried his rifle into the woods to go hunt. He wore gloves to keep his hand warm. All right? As he swung around, he went to remove his finger from the trigger, and the glove caught the trigger and blew this gentleman's arm to shreds. Okay? So yesterday, when we were together, as he turned around to show me his arm, I was shocked. He had no forearm. You can actually see his arm bone, his forearm arm bone, with the skin just around it with no flesh. It was gruesome. It was different. I've never seen that. But you know what? I didn't stare at his arm. I didn't keep asking him questions about it. It didn't make him no different than me. Okay? It was an accident. He could have lost his life. Okay? I didn't look at him any different. I didn't look at him as a handicapped person. I still looked at him as a nice customer who's very friendly, and we're just conducting business. If you take that same person and took him to another area where there are people that are judgmental, they'd be saying, "Ooh, look at his arm. That is so creepy. Ugh." I'm not faint of heart. Yeah, that happened. It's quite unfortunate. I hope that his friend learned the lesson not to wear gloves and then put your finger on the trigger ring. Why would you do that? Shouldn't you walk with a gun in the breakdown position, hanging over the back on your shoulder with the barrel facing up? Why was he carrying his rifle with his finger on the trigger, wearing a glove with a barrel facing people? I hope he learned an important lesson. As a matter of fact, Dick Cheney's friend was a victim of Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney shot his friend with a shotgun. How do adults go hunting and they shoot one another? Now on Dick Cheney's side, I think that was intentional. They should have investigated him and charged him with attempted murder. Okay, that's what I think. Because that man, he's as shady as they come. But that's just me. Who am I to judge, right? But that's the conversation I want to have today. So going back to my friends, the couple who shop at my store. Earlier today, they had given me their phone number because maybe after I move and when I get ready to remodel my kitchen, I was going to call them to help me do this. But now, I don't think I want to. I would feel very uncomfortable having someone in my home who made such a derogatory comment that was so negative and condescending. What that tells me is that it's quite possible that there are people who are your friend and like you, they're just holding back how they truly feel. I think there are people like that. It's just that when they're faced with a comment or a question that's like a loaded gun, they just shoot their mouths. I think in this case, loose lips sinks ships. Loose lips sinks ships. That's what happened. Because after they made that comment, I blocked both of them on my phone, because I don't think I can have people in my home that thinks that way. And quite frankly, it would have been a bad idea anyways, because in the long run, they're just customers, and I should not work in close proximity. I mean, when you work in close proximity with customers, I don't want that same customers in my home. I want to keep them at work where they belong. They're just customers. But that's what I have for you today. It's something that happened, and I just thought I would share my mind. Don't forget, loose lips sinks ships. You guys have a great weekend.